All right, Matrixx and Rhodes show supporters, we're going to talk about one of my favorite comic characters of all time, Frank Castle. Jon Bernthal did an interview. Of course, he's coming back in Daredevil Born Again. I'm crossing my fingers that this might be good, but it's Disney. It's current day Marvel. It's the Marvel that Feige has made a point to put identity politics into, so in turn, I've got almost no faith. But I will tell you, I do like some of the comments that he made about this character, and I think it's very interesting, and I could see him getting a little backlash off of this because, well, he decided to say he thinks everybody's got a little Frank Castle in them. I don't know that everybody does, but I can kind of see his point. But he makes a comment in here that is destined to possibly get the wokes worked up. And he talks about how much this character means to him. And he also understands the weight that it carries with members of our military. And, of course, law enforcement and our military look up to this character a lot. It's got a huge following in law enforcement and the military. And I got to be honest with you, I am a massive fan of the Thomas Jane Punisher movie. I was really, really into bodybuilding and powerlifting back when that movie came out. I mean, I still live today, but I remember how much work he put in to prepare for that film. And I'm a Thomas Jane fan anyway, so him getting cast in that role was a big deal, and I love that movie. I've probably seen it, 50 times. This is Bounding in the Comics. In the opinion of actor Jon Bernthal, the reason the Punisher and his more complete methods of crime fighting continue to enjoy such a large fan base is because at the end of the day, each and every person, quote, has a little bit of Frank Castle in them. That's pretty good. The latest actor to don the Marvel anti-hero signature skull offered his thoughts on the ongoing debate regarding the Punisher's popularity. On one side are the fans who enjoy the character's take-no-nonsense outlook on morality and likewise modus operandi. On the other, those, including Marvel itself, who has grown concerned that individuals, particularly law enforcement, will look up to him as a justification for their own violence. While speaking with Collider regarding his upcoming role in Daredevil Born Again. Yeah, I remember, I believe it was one of the original writers lost his mind and said he'd have never created the character, yada, 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 if he'd have known that law enforcement was going to relate to the character and attach itself to the character. Of course, the skull is in a lot of places. Lord knows I've probably had like 10 T-shirts of various designs with that skull on it. And I think I used to have the skull on one of my previous cars. I just love the character and everything it represents. The no-nonsense approach, that vengefulness for your family having been harmed. And we all know why his character took shape and what that was birthed out of. I mean, just take no prisoners. I love that character. Pressed for his thoughts on the topic by the outlet's Christina Radish, Bernthal opined, I think that there's a reason why the character has resonated as deeply and strongly as he has in the hearts and minds of comic book fans and first responders and people in the military and all over the globe. I think there's a little bit of Frank Castle in everybody. He exists very strongly inside of me, and I care about that character deeply, the actor added. I also know that it's absolutely essential that if we do it right, and we have real sacred integrity to the source material and to what is at the core of Frank. I'm going to do my absolute best to make sure if and when we do it right. I got to be honest, you just don't hear that anymore. All right? When's the last time you hear anything about sacred integrity to the source material? You just don't hear that. I mean, so many of these people that are involved with these characters, they don't give a rip about the source material and the core that was built around the characters. You're starting to see it with Marvel and the MCU. Hell, we've seen it with Lucasfilm for a decade now. The disrespect that they've taken on with these characters. I mean, look how great this character looks in comics. He's fighting Spider-Man right there. You know? I mean, that's wild. Oh, no, it's you again. Won't you ever quit? And if I'm going, right there. The Punisher made his debut in The Amazing Spider-Man. The Punisher strikes twice. One of these days, I might have to buy that comic. Notably, this is not the first time Bernthal has expressed such deep-seated connection and appreciation for the Ebony Executor. Asked during a December 2021 Hollywood Reporter's Brian Davids whether or not, in the light of the MCU's turn towards multiverse storytelling, he would ever consider once again stepping into Frank's boots, the actor asserted that character in particular has real deep meaning for me and resonance in me. He's really in my heart, man. He's really in my bones. I'm enormously protective of that character. I said before that there's nothing in this world more important to me than my wife and kids. I think so many can relate to that. So at least among the alpha male community, let's put it that way. And only until you understand that kind of love and what it really means to willingly die for someone do you understand what it would be like if somebody took them from you. You can tell he absolutely gets this character. That's a road in darkness and rage that really scares me and brings me to places that I've worked the last 20 years to get away from. So I was really grateful, respectful, and wary of the places where that role took me and the world in which I had to live in. And, I mean, that character's been put in a lot of good comics over the years. However, despite his love for the character, Bernthal then noted, that being said, that's where the character needs to be. It needs to be a level of darkness. I think if there's any let up on that character, you do a disservice to the character, to every iteration of the character, to every comic book that's come before, and to all of the unbelievable fans of the character. Yeah, I mean, Ray Stevenson was good. A lot of people, that's their jam, is they like the Ray Stevenson version. Like I said, I like Thomas Jane. I like John's version. Of course, I'm a fan of his because he was so good in The Walking Dead back in the day, before they eliminated his character. In a finale that was epic back when The Walking Dead was much must-see television. Quote, this character means so much to people in the military, he concluded. So like I've said before, it's not about whether you do the character, it's about whether you do it right. And I'm only interested in doing it right. That's pretty wild. I mean, you just don't hear that kind of passion tied to these characters anymore by most of these actors. They seem very indifferent. They're just fine getting handed a script, whatever kind of crap is in the script. And look, Mark Hamill is guilty of this. I've said many times, Mark Hamill could have drew a line and told Rian Johnson, I will never portray Luke Skywalker in the manner that you wrote him. As much as Mark's bitched about that role and how it was portrayed, he still agreed to play it in the manner in which it was written. This man's telling you, no, if you disrespect the character, I won't be the one representing it. It means too much to me. I mean, wow. I mean, if we could only get so many actors and actresses to want to be that respectful to these characters, we would still have something in entertainment. Think about Rachel Ziegler and how she looks and disrespects the character of Snow White and the fans of Snow White. She doesn't give a rip at all. She doesn't care if she takes a flamethrower to the spirit and the origin and what that character means. She doesn't care. Clearly he does. So my hat's off to him. Like I said, one of my more favorite actors these days, and I don't have many left. I just don't. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.